Hello everyone, welcome to Talking. I'm Mugambi Hamaton, your host for today. And actually today we're speaking about a broad topic that affects us individually, socially, and as a nation. And we being the larger population, the youths, we're here to speak about social injustice. Social injustice is whereby the equal are treated unequally and the unequally treated equally. With me is actually a very amazing guest. She is a psychologist, a nutritionist, a counselor, and actually we're expecting very much from you because you being in that field whereby you understand social injustice from a very wide perspective. So I think you're the one to show us, you're the one to guide us. And actually we really have very high expectations with you because this is something that it has been affecting us for a while, for so long. And so I think today is now the day. So my favorite audience, I think you should stay tuned, and everybody watching us at home. Don't forget our SMS number is 21144. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at GBS TV Africa. So welcome our guest for today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to be talking about a topic that to me is passion. It is at the core of my heart because it's like it informs everything that happens to us, not only to us as Kenyans, but Africans.
Yeah, globally. Yeah.
Let me not go beyond Africa because this is where we are facing a lot of injustices that are happening. And some of them happen because of lack of information.
Yeah.
We do not know.
Yeah.
So so it's a whole wide of issues. At times we also put leaders in position and they take that position and they're not able to bring back those results to the people. So it is a whole range of issues that affects our economic, it affects our mental, it affects our education, our health. So it's a wide topic. I'm almost wondering where exactly should we be able to start.
Yeah.
But of course we will have a starting point.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Thank you so much, the audience, for being together with us.
Actually, to start, you said that it is actually a topic that I heard you say the politicians. For me, I think it cuts across everyone because I have a role to play, they have a role to play. So is it that they have failed or we have failed, we all failed?
I did not say specifically it's the
politician.
In fact, I said leaders.
Or leaders.
And remember, the moment you mention a leader,
Everyone is a leader.
A father is a leader
Yeah.
in the family. A firstborn is a leader in their own capacity.
Yeah.
A prefect in the class
Is a leader. So
leader.
basically everybody has failed.
So anytime we are in Africa, when a leader is elected, they don't take the role of a servant. They take a role of a boss.
Of a boss, sure.
So, and the moment a person has taken that role, what happens is that definitely there are injustices that are going to be done. Because instead of serving the people, you will use that position
To serve yourself.
And to oppress the people who put you in that position. So I think for me, that has caused a biggest challenge of Africa. And I'm happy to have started this conversation. I'm happy that I did not come in the middle of it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm happy that I'm the one initiating it.
Yeah.
So maybe, of course, it might start from understanding what is social justice.
Yeah.
Yes.
So take us through that.
So, of course, social justice is rights that are supposed to be given to every person. It is a right. It is not something that we beg for. I imagine how at times we beg for education, for roads to be done. We beg for hospitals to be done. But in our constitution, even the constitution of Kenya, those are some of rights, the basic rights that are there. They have been written. It is speculated very well that these are rights that somebody is supposed to enjoy. But the truth is, we are not enjoying them.
So we take them as privileges.
Yes, mostly we take them as privileges. And of course, I even hear us sometimes when the leader comes and they're able maybe to build a classroom, we are very excited that
About
they did.
it, yeah.
For me, I am of the opinion that this person, although yes, they are leaders, they're using taxpayers' money. It is not their money they used to build that classroom.
So actually they did their work.
Yes, it is their work they were doing. So they don't really deserve to be celebrated.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, someone is going to applaud them for doing that work, but it is a right for that person who that is being done to. So social justice, it is when someone now is able to receive all those. And of course, it cuts across education, it cuts across being able to access services like education, like health, issues of being able to stand out and speak confidently before people. That is a right that is supposed to be given to every child, every adult. But of course, you will see it is not in our society. I don't want to talk to us with the image of people living in Nairobi or people living in the cities in Kenya or in Africa. I want to go to that person in the village. That person who a hospital is 40 kilometers away from where they are, and there is no good roads to be able to access that hospital.
Yeah.
So if I'm to start talking, I wouldn't want to look like I'm speaking on behalf of the people that live in the city, because mostly
In simple complaining.
yes, of course, we complain a lot.
Yeah.
So the point is, the starting point, that person who is marginalized, even from where they live. Classrooms are made of some very poor material. Now, how is that person supposed to be able to have a level playing ground with this other person who is highly privileged? So if we start our conversation, I think from there, then we can be able to incorporate the town person who is maybe struggling with issues of maybe healthcare a little bit, but at least they had a little bit of education. But look at that person who even accessing healthcare is a problem. So injustice cuts across all those people in the population. Yeah.
So, okay, you've actually given us a brief introduction of what social justice is.
Yeah.
And so, actually, today is the Social Injustice Day across the globe of every year. So, so today being the Social Injustice Day, so which are these social injustices that we encounter? Because at times we play the victim role when that we should actually advocate for what we believe in. So, which are some of these social injustices? Because they maybe have affected me before, and maybe I laid a blind eye.
Maybe before I explain the social injustices, let me explain that the moment that person has been denied those basic rights, is that the person will not be able to live to their full potential.
Yeah.
A child who is in that remote area, who never went to school, they might have been engineers, they might have been journalists like you, but because they were not given that access to education, they have been denied the opportunity to become the person they were supposed to become from the beginning.
And actually, I think in an African setup, I think we draw a line that this is where you should work, this is what you should do, this is who you should become. And eventually when you grow up, you come to understand, so this is what I should have become. And actually, as you're saying, there's actually some clip I was watching sometimes last week about some marginalized area. And these people are saying, actually, when a truck was passing, yani ko ilikuanga news like, hawa ni kina nani? We've never seen such. So actually, to support actually what you're saying, I think this is actually a topic that we should come to understand. And as we began by saying, we shouldn't play the victim role. We should know how will we now overcome this, because it is something that is affecting us. So will we keep enlightening them, or we should come up and speak for ourselves? So
I'll still take you back to what I was just saying about potential. Because the moment, remember, human beings are resources, although we do not take them as so. We are a resource. So that means if I have a whole county that has very few people who have been able to access education and health, that means I have resources that have not been used
Exploited.
or utilized or exploited.
Yeah.
And that makes that particular county or that particular country not to be able to harness its full potential. Now, what can be done? Of course, what we are doing, awareness, it's one of the things that we are doing, and of course, such shows would help that person who is able to listen. Social justice around the world has been fostered or has been pushed by the youth. Unfortunately, we are in a time where most young people have taken the back seat, and all we do is complain. We complain on Facebook, we complain on Twitter, we complain in the bars, but we are doing nothing. Yet, we have so much potential within that we can be able to go out there and speak on behalf of that girl who is in Marsabit that has never gone to school and has been married off at the age of 10.
But
How can I speak on behalf of that girl when I'm just complaining alone?
But I think our guest, in as much as we should really tell people about it. Lakini pia nafikiria it requires resources.
Yes.
Because for you to have a mass interview, it is called mass, no? Media, the mass.
Yeah.
So actually for you to have that platform, you have to cough some money.
Yeah.
For example, naweza kuwa na hizo ideas zote, but I can't advocate for that.
Yeah.
Maybe the biggest platform I can use is my Twitter account.
Yeah.
I'll rant, and then nothing has happened.
Yeah.
So do you think that in as much as self-awareness should be there, do you think poverty is actually the major thing?
Remember, poverty is one of the social injustices, and in fact, it is an effect of social injustice. Because the moment I have been marginalized, the moment I have not been able to be given the resources that I'm supposed to enjoy, what happens is that definitely I will live in poverty. Because those resources have not been made available for me. So, and there is that person who is supposed to do that. And unfortunately, I'll say that it is the government that is supposed to make sure that these resources are made available to the population. But you see, mostly, of course, these things don't happen. How many times have we seen maybe money that was meant for a road, it is released, but that road does not exist. We hear people who have used money that was meant for medicine in the hospital. So how many people have been killed just because of that? Of course, that one again talks about injustice of corruption. So as a society, I think we literally require a conversation around all those issues, and also value systems, because I believe what sustains a society is the values they stand for. The moment we lose values, it becomes very hard even to be able to give these justices to the people. Yeah. It becomes very hard because I don't care. As long as in my house I have enough, as long as I can have that car, as long as I can be able to take my children to school, regardless of where I got that money from, I am okay. So I don't mind about that other person who has not been able to go to school. So value systems. You asked about what needs to be done. Yeah. And that's why I'm saying now the aspect of values. What do we stand for as a society? What do we stand for as a nation? What do we stand for as a continent?
So I think we lost it a long time ago.
Yes, we lost completely. And at times I'm like, the traditional setups, the things that we used to value those years were better, because we took the Western system and we did not take it in full. If there is anything that is done in those places, of course, the Western countries, is that there is the aspect of accountability. Yeah. Leaders are made accountable on how they use their resources, making sure that they do the right thing. But we took their values, we took those systems, but we have not been able to implement them here.
Oh,
But at least in our traditional setups, there was all those, the elders and everything that were able to check the leaders and make sure things are done right. Look at the issue of the example of sexual abuse, which is also an injustice that is done even to our children. What used to be done in the traditional setup, there were systems that would punish those people. But now perpetrators are all over, including family. That time there were values that were being used, there were set up, there were things that were set, and it was automatic. You do this, this happens to you. But nowadays, yes, the judicial system is there, but is this also functioning? Yeah. And I believe one of the people who was talking before the show, he was asking about that. Does our judicial system follow it to the core? Of course not. It is about, again, the haves and the have-nots. That is still injustice.
So actually, like from what I'm getting from the guest is that we're actually living in a society whereby it is man for himself and God for us all. That is why if I'm comfortable, then anything that is done around me, it doesn't concern me. And actually, there is an interesting thing that you said about the system, the judicial system. I think that what we've lacked is we've been, I think, raised with the wrong values. I think we've put education to be the center of everything, and we've forgotten that there are values that you should have: integrity, honesty, and all these. As for example, from you, because hizi vitu ziko na sisi. So where should we pick up from? Because talking is a place whereby we come here to find a solution. All these problems we have encountered. So which is the solution that we can have starting from here?
Of course, one is on the issue of the value systems. And for me, it may not be an instant resort, because we are talking about a generation that has been raised like that. So trying to treat a disease by treating symptoms, you do not get a solution. Any disease that we only treat symptoms, you have not treated that person. You have left the person still sick, because or maybe the person came presenting with a headache. The doctor is supposed to come and understand what is this causing the headache, so that you treat the cause and not the symptom. Our society has been treating symptoms, including handling corruption. Those are symptoms. Is it the issue of drug and substance abuse? Those are symptoms. Because for me, drug and substance abuse among the youth is disillusionment. People living without a purpose. People living without direction in life. Somebody who does not even know what is tomorrow holding for me. So that young person goes to the university or goes to high school, and because there is no direction, there is nowhere this life is taking them, you start destroying your own body that is supposed to carry the potential. So I don't have any purpose I'm living for, so I destroy the body. So if I start now treating drug and substance abuse, am I going to help that person?
No.
Because the drug and substance abuse is not the problem. If I start maybe treating issues like young people rioting in high schools and in secondaries, in colleges, that is not the solution. There is a root. There is something that is causing that to happen.
All these things to happen.
So one of the ways, and I believe our education system that has just been changed might help, which I am not very sure, the CBC, we go back to teaching value systems. We have so many young people who excelled in education through lying or copying. You have been in high schools, you know.
Sure.
You have been in college, in the university, you know.
Yeah.
How much we copy. and we come out here and you're telling people that have first class honors. So what will make this person not also lie when they go to the offices?
He must.
They will. Because this is how they have learned it from the word go. We see parents paying for their children to join universities, money for bribery, to join high school. I hear people pay up to 100,000, 50,000 for a child to join Form 1.
Yeah.
So if this is how I joined, what is this that is going to stop me from being corrupt?
So I actually think that we've actually lost it, and the reason as to why social injustice is happening sana. It's actually because of arrogance, whereby you should stand for something, but instead of standing for that thing, you stand for something else. You substitute your capabilities for I can say for a token. So, and actually umezungumzia the values that we should have. Besides the values, what else do you think that inaweza saidia? Because for example I think kuna from 18 to 35, actually I think the population is around 20 million.
Yeah.
And I could say it's too late, but there is actually the younger generation that is behind us. What do you think they should be done besides the CBC? What else should be done?
Personally, I have a lot of faith in any person called young. And youth goes up to 35.
Yeah.
So any person who is below 35 years, I have a lot of hope in them. We can change if we want. Because change has to start from me. Remember, injustices start even at the level of the home, where you see, of course, one child being treated better than the other. These 35, 20-year-olds have children. The way we favor one child over the other, we can be able to give equal opportunities even to our children.
Yeah.
We have child rivalry that happens in the family. Most of those things stem from the parent, who is the leader, not showing equal treatment to all the children as the children are growing.
Yeah.
So I have this opportunity from the level of the home. And one thing, as we are talking about social issues, remember we are talking about the society. The society does not just appear. The society starts from the home. So if we start these things from our family level, unfortunately, sometimes we want to see change in the society and we've not changed from
ourselves,
our families. Some of the social injustices that happen in our homes are too many. If we were to recap them, there are many. These are the same social injustices that we take back to the society, because the society does not form itself. It is formed by the families. So if we can also be able to be proactive in the families and handle these issues. Is it the issue of putting a value system that a family stands for? We can be able to start those value systems from our families. And as I said, young people, there is hope in them.
And actually, some case, I can actually concur with you, because when I see someone my age, someone slightly above me and someone younger than me, it's actually so much potential in them. It is actually, I think they don't see them, we don't see ourselves as you see us. And so to touch on religion, do you think religion missed it all too?
Definitely, yes. Personally born again, I am a youth mentor in church. I do a lot of counseling for the young people. I also teach Sunday school. So I handle although I don't teach the smaller ones, I do class 6, 7, 8. The moment we lose it in terms of religion, again, we distort the whole system. Because look at what we are calling religion in our setup today. It is give and you will receive from God. Are we not doing again the bribery aspect?
Bribing God.
And we imagine that I can go become anything I want to become in the week, because on Sunday I'll go with a big bash and offer an offering, and a miracle is going to happen. This is the message that is constantly being preached. Where did the message of holiness go? Where did the message of righteousness go? Because that is where life values are entrenched. So there is nothing wrong with Christianity, like many of us would want to say, that because we were brought the white man's religion, this is what distorted our African system. No. Our problem is that we are also, yes, we took the Bible, but we are not teaching it. And we are not living it.
We tell people what they want to hear.
Definitely, yes. That is the religion that Timothy was being warned against, that in the end times people will have itching ears.
Yeah.
They will want to hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
So actually, from our discussion, actually it's getting more sweet and more involving, because actually as I'm seated here, as I'm listening to you, I'm actually thinking about myself, because I've also suffered from arrogance, whereby I lay a blind eye on quite much. And to finish it all before we go for a break, and on the aspect of religion, so how should it go? Because I think many people are brainwashed.
We just preach the gospel.
The solution.
The good news. The good news of Christ is not about give, and God is going to do a miracle. The good news is about life transformation. It is about change. It is about walking the walk. It is not about teaching things that you don't do.
Yeah.
So if we can be able to just be real, because the Bible has everything. Is it issues of social justices? It has. In fact, if there is any place that we can even be able to use to implement those issues of social justices, it is in the Bible.
Sure.
Issues of sexual abuse is there.
It's in the Bible.
Is it about corruption? It is
there.
spoken very well there. So these issues can be able to be solved, yes, by religion, but not, I don't want to say religion. It can be solved by teaching the word of God.
Yeah.
The right way.
Right word, yeah.
The right way, yes.
So actually, we suffer from all this because of arrogance. We preach water, and drink wine. And so I think, before actually we go for a break, I think this is an eye-opening to everybody watching us and to our lovely audience over here. I think it's the high time we change the whole narrative, because it has reached a point we should stand and fight for ourselves. It is the point that we start believing in ourselves so much that someone else with some negativity about us will not hinder us from becoming ourselves. So this is actually the first part of our show. So we'll go for a short break and come back again to hear from our lovely audience, to cut this cake, because it is actually getting sweeter. Remember, our SMS number is 21144. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at GBS TV Africa. Thank you.
Everywhere, GBS.
So welcome back. The topic actually is becoming more hot, and I think these actually matters that are affecting us as youths, as the elders watching back at home. Don't forget to tell us your views back at home. Our SMS number is 21144. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at GBS TV Africa. And so actually, we've actually covered the first bit, whereby you've told us that youths are leaders of today. And since we have our lovely audience here, I think it is time to hear from them, because I think they have so much, they actually have so much on their side pressing them. Yeah. So I think now it's time to hear from our youth. Yeah.
Before we went for a short commercial break, he has talked about how young people want to grow wakijua story ya corruption. For instance, mimi nilikuwa najua, when I was in Form 4, nikimaliza high school, if I want to join Kenya Defence Forces, I had to pay 100,000. That is something that was within me. Whether I was qualified for it or not, but I had to give 100,000. Now, who should be blamed on that? Kwa sababu mimi sikutaka, I grew up knowing that, yeah?
So wewe unataka kuingia KDF, and you know it's 100,000, and you are willing to pay.
Yeah.
So who should be blamed?
Yeah, who should be blamed?
Okay, the next.
Thank you for this chance. My name is Eugene. Well, I have a question. You know, like the guest, vile alikuwa naongea, it's like the youth have to have to do something. They have a role to play in this, to help us disseminate disseminate the news about the social injustice, and then we find a way in which you can curb it. Well, it is okay, but as my friend has put it, that it is something that we have grown up with. Take for an instance, we are growing up in an environment, a society whereby if you have two grandparents, perhaps your two parents and you sit in maybe perhaps in a round table in a celebration, and someone farts, the air is sour, let me say. It will be obviously you, even if you know that in the eyes of God it is not you, the younger one. It is you. And should you say that it is not me and point, maybe point at someone older than you, then it will be a case. In fact, you will be beaten. So things like that are making us believe that things like that make us believe that there will never be a time where there will be equality. Yeah, you get me. We are living in a world whereby the leaders today do not give us, the older guys do not give us chance to lead. They believe that they have the monopoly of ideas and knowledge. Yeah, whereby if you try to talk, they think that what the young men are saying is not viable. Yeah. So how do you guys still believe that it is the youth who should do what? Who should stand up and help to curb these things? So we have tried as much as youth, because we realize that in the older guys, when they want to pass certain agendas, they use us as youths so that we can, for example, in striking, yeah, the youths, I think they have done a lot, and it is now high time. For example, when we wanted to address the issues of the raising of the university fees, you saw the youths they stood up and when they marched towards the government offices and they struck against that. And of course, we have been doing this. You look at post-election violence, it is majorly the youths who are involved. Yeah. And 56% of the population of Kenya, actually, most of them are youths. Yeah, sure. Yeah? Sure. So it's like, I believe that the youths have done so much, but it is now time for the elder guys to give us opportunity to lead, because we cannot lead in this if you do not give us the opportunity. And if we cannot lead as well, if we keep trying our moves to lead, but you guys keep kicking us down, so that we believe that we do not have a say. So I think that you should tell us, you should actually give us.
What should they do more that they have not done? Next, before actually you come to answer the questions,
Thank you. By the name is Boniface Kioko from Mannheim College. And now my take on this, I think this is the most privileged time that we need to introduce everything to the young men, and also try to manipulate it to the leaders, that we can take control now of what is going on. Because if now we go with this pace upon this country, a very innocent soul to come later will be suffering because of us. Why? Because we did not do the best that we could, so that we can prepare a leeway for those who are coming down there. And now, to our guest today, I just want to know this from you, please. You've seen recently, most of our politicians, they're normally taking advantage of us, the youth. As my friend has just said, you're taking it in this point that whenever there is a conference somewhere, they're now taking advantage of introducing the new young men, very, very innocent boys and girls down there, so that if you don't like this Kiongozi, then what do? Just throw stones to them, to the audience. Now, take it at this angle. There's a very old lady who just innocently came to the conference to hear from the Kiongozi. Someone did not see Raila Odinga, didn't see Uhuru Kenyatta, the president. Now, this lady, I just take it, she only wanted to come and see him, and hear, also interact in building this country. And now there is a very young man like me who has just been given 100 bob to come and throw stones to the young lady, to the old lady. Now, this is now taking that angle of Kenya is now diverting from the right positive way to somehow that the youth are now trying to bring it that it's as if now we want to overturn what should be done to the innocent people down there.
Yeah, sure.
No, so I just wanted to know from you. We are now taking it at this angle, as just my friend has said. What is your tag upon to the leaders now? What do you need to tell them so that we can now take it from the ground-based level of us as the youth? Thank you.
Anyone else with a question? Yeah. And keep it short.
Okay, mine. I'm a youth. The reason why we are so bitter anyway, I want to ask Kamal so that she can help us. You see, you're talking about politics. For instance, I come from a very humble background, right? And if you look at those governors, most of the people they appoint, they pick their relatives. So I grew up having that bitterness, yeah? When you go to seek bursary, they're not giving you bursary. So what normally comes to my mind, the moment I will take that position, even me, I will help my family. Secondly is about judiciary. We need to make our judiciary firm. Yeah, it should not be biased. There is those who are favored by judiciary, there is no issue. Yeah, so you should address that issue.
And then my question, my question is, do you think the youth are up to the task? Because my school of thought tells me that leadership needs maturity. Do you think we're mature enough? Because I think he said we throw stones. So if actually our mentality is throwing stones, do we think we are what we really are? Because I think we are not.
I'll start that from where we said that the youth is a leader of today and not tomorrow. Leadership does not start when you turn 25. Leadership starts as early as 2 years old, as early as 3 years old. What is that you were doing when you were 6 years old? Were you responsible at home? I'm a therapist. I'm a counselor. I'm not a politician. So some of the questions they're asking, I'm almost wondering, okay, am I a government spokesman? So, but yes, I will answer the question. Because remember, these people, you meet all kind of people in therapy.
Yeah.
And when I meet a young person who is in high school, you ask them, what are your goals? To have a good house, a good home, a good wife, good children.
All that?
Vision, yes, the vision heads there. So as long as, even if I'll kill to buy that good house, good car, I will do it. But that vision did not start, these goals did not, there is nowhere you're hearing touching community. There is nowhere you're hearing serving the neighbor. It is all about me. This is the attitude that our leaders have. Now, this is the society we are in.
Whereby we're living in a society where the end justifies the
yes. Whether I'll kill, whatever it is that I'll do to just be able to get that good car, good house, because that is all we think about. But sincerely, are you trying to tell me that the Mau Mau fighters, those are the things that they were pushing them to the bush? No. They had things, they had values, they had motivations to see the people, what is this that I live for? And that is what I was talking about. A young person can become a leader of today. My brother there is very passionate about leadership. The first question maybe that I would ask him, what are you doing about that passion that you already have? Now, before you are made an MCA, before you are made that youth leader in the political party, what is this that you're doing
today
to impact the community today? Because there is something you can be able to do. When I'm talking about this, of course, I talk with a little bit of authority, because I have a class 6 girl who has written a book on bullying when she was in class 4.
That is okay. That
is that person not a leader today?
She really is.
Now already she starts out in class 7 as a leader among the others. But young people want to be made leaders given positions, and I think that is what was being asked. They want to be brought to leadership. Wekwe hapo. I'm imagining even the reason as to why you called me to this place, not because I was some leader somewhere,
Not really.
but it is I was doing something. In the process of doing something, I was spotted by someone.
Sure.
So what are you doing as a young person?
To be spotted.
Yes.
I think actually that is actually a challenge that you should ask yourself, because for someone to come, there's a quote that says, if you don't have value, then you don't have sense. And actually not useful. So I think as actually our guest is saying, ask yourself, ni nini unafanya sahi? You can't wait until you are 30 or 35 or elected as an MC or MP or the governor to impact generations. And then actually a question aliuliza, he asked that they have been doing so much. They have demonstrated.
They have thrown stones. Yes.
They have
been
wamechoma
called to
magari,
heckle.
Wamechoma magari.
Yes.
Wamefanya hizo vitu zote.
Now,
So
how is that one
in?
impacting society? You know, I almost got angry, by the way, as you was talking. I almost got angry because I'm like, you mean young people are this useless? We have made ourselves this useless. Does a leader have to pay me 100 shillings? I have never taken a single coin from a political leader. I have been a young person once. I'm 40 now. 40 is not very far from 35. I would have thrown stones during the Moi era. It was worse than we are right now. I would have thrown them, but I didn't. So when we are talking about young person is being used to throw stones, it is a choice. It is a choice a young person has taken to throw those stones and hit another. The person who was killed in was it Keno the other day?
Yeah.
Those young people were not, most of them were not killed by bullets.
No.
They were killed by stampede and other people beat them up. They were beaten up by young people. Most of the places that were burnt during 2008, 2007, and you've taken me in a direction I did not want to go.
We are sorry for that.
I didn't want to go that direction. So those who burnt the nation were young people. But it is this young person who imagines that by burning, by being the first one to lit that house, that church, I'll gain favor from the leader. Unfortunately, you are just a tool. You see the way anachukua panga ya kukata? That is how that leader looks at you. The moment anakupea their 100 shillings. So we have, as young people, chosen to be used. We have taken it upon ourselves to be used the wrong way. In the same energy, we can be able to use that energy and be used the right way.
I think that is
Simply, money has come, and we all say, election, there is no one who is picking a penny from a leader. Show us what you are able to do. Show us what you are able to do. Show us what you've implemented before you come to us. But how many leaders have we taken to parliament? And we took them to parliament because of 100 shillings that they gave to a young person.
Quite many.
Young persons, we cannot, we take, the other day, Lumumba PLO was talking about, we take hyenas to parliament, and then they start biting us, and we complain. And we are the ones who took the hyenas there, because they were paid 100 shillings. Young people, we have to rise up. And we have to stop complaining when we have done the mess already.
Sure. That is actually why I said we are very mature. And from where I sit, I truly believe tunazungumza vitu za corruption and everything. Give a youth, for example, 25, 24 years, a company mpatie tender ya 1 billion. I'm telling you.
Atarive every weekend. Every weekend using 50K. Every weekend from one club to another. That is what we are having with our young people. We are living minus purpose. And unfortunately, what is going to happen, I don't know, 20, 15 years to come, I don't know where our nation will be. Because we have a people who are not living for anything. We are living for a car, a good life, going abroad. Those are the things I hear from young people.
Vacation.
Yes, vacation. I have not heard a young person telling me, I want to be the one initiating roads to be built in my village. I've not had a young person telling me that I would want to see a situation where there are enough hospitals in my village. At least ikuwe kwa kichwa, hata kama ita happen.
Ikuwe tu a dream.
Yes, ikuwe na dream.
Yeah.
Lakini sasa we are talking about a big car. Excuse me, there are people who have big cars. We have people who have big houses and they are not living a good life. So that is not good life. And that is where our leaders are. They have big houses and big homes and everything, and many wives and concubines. But are thus given them good life? So why do we want to follow them? They have failed. Why are we following what has already failed?
Yeah.
Their children are left and they are fighting over wealth. How many have we had? Why do we want to still follow the same trend? So, young people, please, especially those of us that are in the audience and those listening to me, let us live for a purpose.
For a purpose.
Something
Let us have a goal.
tangible.
Yeah.
Not a car, please. Not those things come later, but not a big house. Those things will come later. I am very sure those men and women who fought during Mau Mau were not looking for cars.
Sure.
They were not looking for houses. And that's why to them, even when they were not given, I listen to those old mamas. They are very passionate. They are very happy. They are very fulfilled.
They're proudly Kenyan.
Purpose gives fulfillment.
Yeah.
Those material possessions we want to own, we will have them, but they bring misery. And we are talking about social injustice. Are we still there?
We're still there because actually, I think that we are actually doing injustice to ourselves because I think it is actually out of arrogance that we are too arrogant, we are quite immature, and we want the easy way out. Because actually, when you look unaongea about we want the material things, actually, at this I walk around, ask a youth, what do you see yourself in the next 5 years? He'll tell you owning a big house, a big car, having a good family, but is it all that? So I think if everybody watching at home and everybody listening to us right now, you should play your part because it is actually like a card game. You place your card, he plays his cards. And what I can say to add actually on what you're saying, if you have value, people will follow you. Everybody is looking for value. But where are you being used? Mbona tunatumika na these politicians? Personally, I can't be used by someone. I can't draw stones. Why? Because I know my value. Sometimes back, there's someone who gave me 1,000 bob and I told him, honestly, even if I took this, I'll not vote for you because you don't believe in what I believe in. You get? I think it is this time we believe in principles. Are we principled? And actually that is where we lost it all.
My question is, how many times do we ask those people, those leaders?
We actually don't.
How many times do we ask them, what do you stand for?
I think
they come and immediately they are on top of their vehicles. The first thing we are like, hey, let us. And when that money comes, we rush to the bar, unfortunately.
Because it is easy come.
So, yes, we will take the hyenas to parliament. They start eating us up. And we expect, by the way, why do we expect them to behave differently?
There's actually someone I was telling sometimes back. I told them we cry of corruption every day. But ask yourself, how much money did you eat? Were you bribed in 2017? Unajua aliniambia how much? 15,000. I told him ulikula darasa kitambo sana. Ulikula barabara kitambo sana. Yeah. So what has to
the other day I got to a certain slum around Langata area. And I heard that a road was supposed to be done cutting across in the slum. And some old mzes were given 50K each. That is how a road. That is how a road was eaten. It was taken to the toilet.
Actually, we really.
How many? These young people. If there is a time young people have to be so annoyed about themselves, it is this season.
I really wish that we could have much time. I'm told actually we're behind time. And this actually the discussion is getting hot and I think this is now eye-opening and we instead of being complainers, I think we should now look at ourselves. So we're parting short because time is not on our side.
My parting shot is yes, there are social injustices that are happening to us. They have happened to people who were before us. They are happening around the world. But we cannot afford to take a victim mentality. The moment we take a victim mentality, one of the things that happens, we will be angry with people. We will be angry with ourselves. That is a mental issue. Because the moment I'm operating from anger, I can do anything. And that is why one of the young people said, why will I not go there and also steal? So most of the people who have stolen medicine, hospital, it's because they were angry. Walikuwa tu wamekaa hivi wanangoja. The day I am going to get in that place,
tender.
I will eat. Because I have been angry.
Yeah.
So the moment we take a victim mentality, we become victims.
Yeah.
But we can be able to stand out and say,
No.
yes, injustice is happening here, but there's something little I can be able to do.
Sure.
What can I be able to do? If it is just that passing my voice to be heard, I will pass it on.
To be
Whether it
heard.
is that Twitter, Facebook, instead of sending photos that look funny there, I can be able to tag something. It is going to reach to somebody. I can come in such talk shows and speak it as it is,
Yeah.
plain. And it is, and maybe somebody will hear me and they are motivated. So I can start doing something. Young people listening to me, and those that are in the audience, you are not a leader of tomorrow.
It is
you are a
today.
leader today. So what are you doing today in line with that leadership role that you want to take? What are you doing? Because if you're still in the bar drinking, and you're telling me that you'll be a leader of tomorrow, in fact, tomorrow you will be a drug addict.
Really.
If you're sleeping around with women and boys and everything, tomorrow you will be something else.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you'll be a HIV positive patient. So, yes, I was becoming a leader of tomorrow, but today I'm wasting myself.
Sure.
So we buy our future today, not tomorrow.
Actually, to everyone watching us and everybody listening to us, I think the discussion is really getting so hot and manifested here. And I really can't wait to host you next week, because I think we've left it where we shouldn't have left it. But since we're behind time, I think it is the high time to wish you a good time to self-reflect on yourself, because as we've heard, it is actually time to ask ourselves questions. Si kila time tunasema it is our leaders, but what have we done? What are our principles? What do we believe in? Are we guided by principles? Are we guided by beliefs? And actually,
Before we are finishing, allow me to just say this about the young people.
Okay.
One of the young people said, I grew up seeing this happen. I grew up hearing this happen. Now, you will not grow up, because you've grown up already.
You've grown up.
But you're going to raise children. Are you going to repeat the same?
Not really.
So the young person also has an opportunity, as they are raising their children, to raise them differently. So that is where roles of the young people are coming in. The young people are the ones who have 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds. But where do we take them?
Clubs.
To the bar during the weekend.
So everyone, I think you've heard, you're not a leader of tomorrow, you're a leader of today. And so this actually, it's time to reflect and think hard about it. I think we'll pick it up there from next week to actually continue this discussion, because we can't have it all today. So thank you for watching us. Send us your feedbacks. Tell us your comments about what you feel, because this is actually something that has affected you, something you feel you've played the victim role. Our SMS number, remember, is 21144. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at GBS TV Africa. And we love you because you love listening to us. Thank you. See you next time.